Right, sorry guys, cut off there for some reason. We've just done the tray unit and about the box. Now we're going into the rigged units. So, yeah, apologies for that. I pressed the wrong button trying to lift the box up. So I'll try and join them together, but if not, that's where we're at. Right, onto rigs. These are some little inline dibbers, RW ones. They seem the nicest of the inline dibbers. Not a lot of companies make them, not especially handmade ones. These are all on 020 because it's such a short length of line on them. They're for fishing in the top 12 inches of water for me. I don't like them for anything more than that, because if you've got them on a little bit longer line and you're flicking them out, the water seems to go in the hole. It's the same for any inline float, and they don't sit right. You have to pull them out of position to get them sitting right. So literally, you'll see with all my floats, I've got two identical rigs. I always use yellow tips. I'm colourblind and they help me see. I just see them a lot better than orange. I use white in yellow in dark water, black in white water, and I carry two of each. I could just carry like two rigs and use the black pen on them if needed, but I'd just rather have them all nice and dry and just pick up which one I need when I'm setting up, look at the water and choose the one. So they're at 9 inches and 12 inches. That's how much line's on there. So by the time I had a hook length, if I've got like 4 inch or 3 inch hook length, I'm fishing just below that depth. If it's a 9 inch one, I'd be fishing at 8 inches with 4 inches above the float. They're 0.1s. I've got a couple of 0.2s here. They're all yellow because I don't use them very often. They're made up on just a bit longer line. If there's a line limit, I want to fish really shallow still, but there's a line limit of say 8 or 10 inches. It just gives, their 0.2s just gives me a little bit more control. Moving on to like the F1 shallows, the DS F1 shallows. Again, I've got 0.1s, moving up to 0.2s, and then there's a few 0.3s just for worse conditions, but I use the 1s and 2s most. And I've got these tied up at 15, 18, 21 inches to 0.1s, and then 24, 27 and 30 inches to 0.2s. The 0.3s I've got on a bit longer. They're more for bad conditions. I can just shoot them down to suit. Reason I have them tied up and not just have a couple tied up on 3 foot of line and adjust it, it just means when I'm setting up multiple top kits for F1 fishing, like I say, when you have several rigs set up and only 3 or 4 inches difference, I literally just get each one out at the right depth already. Saves me loads of time faffing around, setting up, and that's the reason for it. I know I could just have half a dozen set up and cut them down to suit, but it just helps speed up setting up. You can carry them on your top kits in advance, but they do rub about a bit. I'd rather just put them on fresh. It takes me no time at all doing it like that. Moving along, yeah, one more 0.3 there. Then I've got some 0.1. They're the XL carbons, just a 0.1. I've got six blacks, 6 yellows. They are all set at 4 foot. I do shorten them down. They're for more like autumn and spring when you're fishing deep, shallow for F1s, like not in those real shallow territory. And I do cut them down to suit a little bit. That's why I've got 6 of each, because I probably have 3 set up, and it's just I've got some spares, 3 or 4. Moving along, we're on the carp slaps. As I said in my video last night, 0.3s have got 6 number 9s on there, tied up on 4 foot of line. That's for a bulk and 1 dropper. That's from a deep shallow up to like, well, up to 4 foot, just over. The 0.2s are on 3 foot of line, just a little Olivet. They're for me 2 foot rigs. It means I've got 2 foot above the float as well, with my foot hook length on. I'm just a couple short. I'm just waiting on some to arrive. And then the 0.1s are again, they've just 3 number 10s on them. Have it bulked all below the float, and they are again on 3 foot of line. They're for fishing a foot deep, but you want that bit longer line, keep them away from the carp. Moving along, a couple of the mugger floats we've got. They're set on a full top kit. They're for them real swingy days. I do prefer using the 0.1 carp slaps, just have a bit more control of where you're flicking at the fish, land it better in their mouths. But there are days when they're really spooky or they're a bit beyond range, and that's where their muggers are for. Just got a few, not many. This what, just some 0.2 normal dibbers. These are the old Mailman's ones. They're on 3-foot line. That's just for when I'm fishing casters and you want to swing just past your bait on them real hot days. That can be really good. And a couple, there's a 0.1 here for them real spooky days when the fish are around your feed but not really having it, on those flat calm days. Moving along from there, got some of the Edge Pigs DS floats. These are on 023. They're my edge floats for shallow water. Got 4 of them. Again, they're all white yellow tips. I can colour them in if I need be, but most edge fishing is in against cover and stuff, or the bank, so it's darker water. And the same for, these are the mudline floats. They're on 020, as I've talked about already. Again, just got 4, just because you're often fishing against snags and stuff. It's just doubled up again, just so I'm definitely never going to run out. Just a quick one on the carp slaps. These were always on 020, and I've actually, this is why there's a couple short. I've used a couple of spares up, and while I'm changing over to DS floats, I haven't got lots of spares of all the patterns yet, and I've actually had a couple break off. These are all on 023 now. I just found at like 2 islands, I've changed the elastic for shallow as well. I was on 06, the 14 to 16 slick in a power kit, 020 on these. And when you catch them really well and the really big fish, and I do certainly give them a bit of stick, I've had it break, my line break around the float, just where it's rubbed in the net and stuff, and you're putting a lot of pressure on when you're catching 10-pound fish and you catch them really quickly. So I've changed up to the 16 to 18 elastic, and I had the same sort of problem with that. It's still quite soft. What I found is you've got to keep, it wants to be new 16 to 18, so it's that bit, got a bit more to it, a bit more pull to it, and that with the 023 I've had no problem since. It's been perfect. Like I say, always evolving your kit. I remember at Rookery last year, I've just been putting some elastic in my top kits. I thought the 14 to 16 was too heavy in a short kit, but it's been absolutely brilliant. I did lose a few one day when I was fishing into reeds across. Power kits weren't right for fishing long and the size fish I was catching. I've just put some of the green 16 to 18 in them to try. In all honesty, feels spot on. I think that's going to be with the one this year in the festival in a couple of weeks' time for fishing into cover and stuff like that. So I'm always changing things about, always thinking about it. That is all the shallow water rigs covered. Just get that squeezed in. I'll put you on the foot plate for a minute, guys. Next up, these are what I call the everyday rigs. This side is all on 018, and that side is all on 020. Now, I'll start on the 020. There is just one stray from the other side where there weren't quite enough slots. I was using the XL carbons again on this side. That 1.7mm tip just wasn't quite thick enough for me for carp fishing, like 8mm pellets and stuff that I'm doing on them rigs. So I've gone back to the Rube carbons for now. I have been speaking to Dave at DS. We are designing my perfect short line float, but that's what these are, just Rube carbons, 4B12, 4B14 for fishing that short line on when the conditions are good. Hard pellets like 6 and 8mm pellets, and just fishing through the water in general. And then from here on, I've got, again, DS haven't, the new wire ones aren't out yet. I've got 4B12, 414, 416 and 418 Rube Titans, like the wire stems. The 418s are tied up on a top 4, everything else is on a top 3. While I'm on the subject of doing that, I know some people have said, how do you get them the same length all the time? Get your top kit out, tie your first rig to the length of the top kit, but leaving a bit for your hook length. Then when you take it off and put it on your winder, count how many times you go around your winder, and then you'll never have to do it again. Just do it that many times. I know with my top kits, 13 turns around these yellow winders is a full top kit. These 418s are 20 turns round, which is a top 4. I do use them in not so good conditions as well, just shorten them down. I use them a lot on two islands, even if the weather's good, just because when there's a lot of fish coming in, you peg it, just helps keep it still, and the bottom's a bit all over the place. Now exactly the same this side. These are the XL carbons, whereas they were in 4, the rubes were in 414, 412, 414, so 0.2 and 0.4. I've got these in 0.2, 3 and 4. I found I was like a 0.2 in the deep water on shallow venues like Westwood and stuff, where you're under 3 foot down the middle. 0.2 was a bit negative, 0.4 was a bit too long and heavy, so I've just got some 0.3s in there as well. And then just the same size as the Rube Titans. I don't mind the bit thicker tip for the F1s with them rigs, because they're heavy droppers and stuff. Just dot them down a bit more if need be, but they're for me soft pellets and stuff like that, so they're very positive shotting, so you don't miss any bites anyway. Do also use the 418s for carp on really windy days. It's just a little bit less drag on your line, a little bit less resistance, like when you're long range casting with a feeder, you use lighter line just so the wind doesn't get it, helps sit there better. So that's why I carry both of them all the time. Going on to the last straw unit. This is all my bit. I describe this as me not so used rigs, but I do use them a lot. They're not the everyday rigs, should I say. These are a float I really love, actually. Talked about these a little bit. The wire mud lines, or cool water mud lines. I used them a lot when we first got back fishing, when it was still cold, and you couldn't quite catch on the mud line. These are just a little bit longer than the muddies, same tip, but a wire stem. Just fish them with a bulk and a dropper, but with a 4-inch hook length, so the bulk was still only like 10 inches from the hook. At tunnel and stuff like that, they're brilliant for fishing just off like a section back, like 2.5 foot. Really good. These are all the pace floats. I will get a video done about pace fishing. It's not something I used to do a lot of, but I've done a bit more of it this year. It's not that I couldn't do it, I've just never found the need, but definitely has its time and place. Just the slims for margins and better conditions, and I've got some round bodied ones there for them tougher days. You'll see at the back there's some swingers. Great float. I've got some there as well. Two of them are tied up to a top 4, 2 are set up to a top 5, just depending on how far away the island that I'm going to be fishing against or swinging to is. I'll start back here. These are a new pattern, as you can see, like a Chianti sort of style, like slim body, like most of my floats, but with a 2.5mm tip. These are called a stealth margin. They're not actually out yet. They're absolutely brilliant. The 0.1s I don't use as much. The 0.2s I've used loads for fishing in like 3 foot, 2.5, 3 foot down the edge, or a little bit shallower when you're trying to lay some line on the bottom when the carp are really spooky. But I've also been using them for fishing like when I qualified for the golden reel, fishing hard pellets like in 2.5, 3 foot down the edge. Perfect for that. Just that bit thicker tip than my normal floats, but the carbon stem, so you can fish them through the water strung out shot. These are the carp decks. These are tied on the top 4, just 0.5 gram and 0.75 gram. Just that bit more body to hold on to. Again, I can shorten them down if the conditions are bad, but can also use them for deck fishing on better days at places like tunnel, like Blokefish 2 Islands. Finally, these are the XL edges. Just realised I need to tie another one up in there, but these are on 0.23, 0.4s and 0.55s. Now these are what I use in my deeper edges, or I'd use them for fishing like a decoy on the top kit cat meat on the top kit, that sort of thing as well. Nice thick tips. They're just longer, a lot longer, like the full length for these winders. If I compared the edge pigs that I got set up in the shallow water one, they're a lot longer, a lot more stable, a lot more weight down. Just good for those deeper edges. A lot of the venues around here and around the country, you have got some deep edges now where the fish have ate them away over the years, these established commercials. So they're perfect for that. Right, finally moving into the base of the box. This is just for all my hook lengths. So I have literally, I know it's not a big box, but I have got everything I need here. I will talk you through the hook lengths. I know people will probably find that. Let me just do this box up. Lots of hook lengths, not all matrix boxes. There's a reason for that. Again, I have asked them to sort it out, so hopefully we will get some. This one's actually not very full. They're just my bomb hook lengths. Plenty of spares of each. There's some 030. They're all size 10s at the moment because I've not been going anywhere where I've got to use a 12, but I am going to get the 12 bits filled up. And then I'm going to get some maggot feeder hook lengths in here for the winter. Because I like them a foot deep. We'll do a video on maggots when it comes to it. Earrings, this is the one bit of prep I've still got to do. Just to top these up. But yeah, MXC 3s and 4s. I carry all the hooks in here, barring those, the 013 ones, because I use, I've got them in shorter boxes. Carry them all these ones. I haven't got that many hooks, it's just at different lengths. Again, I could have them all at 12-inch and cut them down, but it's just for speed. So I've got them at 4, 6 and 12-inch. I'm actually going to cut the 12-inch ones down to 10-inch because I've been dropping a hoolie with that one. Again, something I've learned that I'll pass on, where I've got little shot under the float and everything, and they're for fishing 12 inches deep on these waters where you've got to fish 12 inches deep. I'm actually fishing 14, I've measured it up. Just need to allow for the shot. It's a silly little mistake, but something I'm going to be doing later. Yeah, MXC 3s in 015, 017, and then MXC 4s in 018 and 020. All bands, barring these got spike on for just on them places where you're allowed to mug with meat. But yeah, 14. I carried, these are the ones I'm using most of this summer for carp fishing and all this. MXC 4s. The 14 to 018 is with 8mm pellets, 6-inch for most deck work, and the 12-inch for shallow, and the exact same ones but with a 16. They're for 6mm pellet and caster. When I was fishing the last day of the festival at Float Fish at Wagtail, I was catching my foot deep one. It was more slapping orientated. I had the 14 on for 8mm pellet. When I was fishing the 6mm in my casters, getting some bites, I changed to the 16. It was so much better. There's just a little bit less hook, a little bit less weight, so the bait just slinks that bit slower. So again, that's what going through this box is about, just passing a few bits on. And then I've got exactly the same here. These are my spade end hooks, again MXC2s and the Guru XS spades. Just run you through, I'm not going to talk you through too much. I need some new ones tied in there, another job to do when I get in. Yeah, again, these are just at 4 and 6-inch. I love these matrix hook boxes. Can hold so many hooks in them because they've got double the amount of pegs as all the other ones. So strong, perfect. But as I said, I do carry some Guru ones. Simple reason is the smallest hook length you can have in them is 4 inches. And there's a lot of times, especially with F1 fishing, where you need shorter, sorry. So these are the Gurus. Look, I tie them up 3 inches. There's some 3 and 4 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch, and above the 3 inch one there's enough room I can tie some 2 inch ones and use both on the same pin. Yeah, 011, 013, 015. That's me banded ones for me casters and like 4mm pellets. What have we got in the other ones? Method feeder hook lamps. Again, I like a 3" or 2" where I can, not everywhere allows it. Need to start getting the 2s filled up. I've only been using that one size hook at float fishing, in all honesty. MXC 410 to 022. I'll do a little video on methods because we haven't done it yet. I have actually found a new way. I know everyone uses the rubber. I've done that, but I've found a way of making it more like a cart rig where it can still slide about up the shank. I'll show you how I tie that. Seems really good so far. That's them. Again, loads of rigs, loads of hooks, are so versatile. This is just for rookery, in all honesty. When I'm fishing snake lakes, but for big, like for carp, it's just 2 and 3" ones of the MXC2s, MXC3s and 4s. Again, just find on them waters where it's mud lines and you're fishing cast shallow, you can be really shallow water sometimes. So I just carry some 2 and 3" ones. These are my F1, it's just my spade hooks. Again, all MXC ones, brilliant F1 hook in 2 and 3". Again, 011 to 015. There's a winter hook length box. I won't really go into that. I've not even finished filling it up because we did no winter fishing again last year. I do like, as I spoke to you about with maggots, I like having my shot on my hook lengths. So there's not actually many hooks. You use the same couple of hook lengths all winter because it's only maggots and bread and pellets. But I have each one with a couple of different size droppers on. That's what's labelled up here at 9s, 10s, 11s, and that does make a huge difference. I could pinch them on the bank again, but when your hands are really cold, it's just that little bit less fiddly. They're on there ready. And the final hook length box is, again, I'm still going through this one. This is just my pellet wagglers and my longer bomb ones. Not got many in there yet, in all honesty, because I'm using the same 2 or 3 everywhere I go. All size 10s on the bomb. I need to size some 12s up for where they're not allowed. And that is my box. Just put these away. I hope everyone has, let me just switch the camera around, I'll do that. Right, yeah, sorry, I'll just get out the sun, you'll see me better. I hope everyone's learnt a bit from that. It is, like, to me, I see that box every day of the year because I'm always tinkering about with stuff in there. But I have probably highlighted some things that you don't know about. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope there is something learned from it. I'm sure I'm going to get a few questions which I'll be more than willing to answer, either reply to them on there, or if it warrants a video, we'll get another video done. But I hope you can learn something from that. Say, I didn't want to seem like I'm showing off, oh, I've got this and that and that. It's why I've not gone in my top kits and everything. I carry a lot of top kits and rods. But if people do want that, I can soon go through that and show them what's in there. But I thought I'd just start with the box. I'm going to do another one straight up from this while the weather's nice. Just going to get all my attachments out and just show how I set up my box and my side tray, and just a few little details to think about when I'm doing that. So we'll see you there. Thanks ever so much for watching. Catch you in a minute.